Welcome back to High, Wide, and Handsome, a racing podcast right here on the Arson Brothers Network. Full gang here tonight, the Rockingham Rockers, as we are fresh off of our trip from the Rock. Really fresh. We just got back last night. We're recording a night earlier, actually recording on Easter here, the way things work out. So we're fresh back. I don't know how fresh we are, but we're hanging right in there. Awesome trip to the Rock, though. Full gang here. How's everybody doing? I'm Matt Klein. We'll slide over to Jeff Griffith. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I've hung out with you and the fam today, Easter, and had a little present. We saw the Easter Bunny at the track yesterday, but he brought me a nice basket, hooked me up with a Justin Allgaier diecast and some chocolate candy and a horror book, so he knows what I like. Good stuff.
There you go. Yeah, can't beat that. How about you, Sean Allen?
Oh, man, great trip, but it comes with a price, right? I'm a little bit dragging today. It's been kind of a low-key Easter around here, but a good day, right? And everything going good, a little tired, but ready to talk about the Rock.
Absolutely. And last but certainly not least, Michael Sizemore.
Boys, I am burned up. Like, my arms are two different colors there.
Oh,
guts are all wrecked up from racetrack food and cold beer, $8 cold beers. And y'all might chuck me in the ground after this.
If only you had a buddy that had sunscreen and kept saying, "Hey, get you some of this." I
didn't want to be all oily for that rubber to stick to me even more. I'm still blowing black snot out of my nose.
For the record, the buddy that had the sunscreen, I put it on size, and as you can see.
Oh, got you too, yeah.
Even though I put it on, so I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's called reapply. Every hour. That's the. I'm like Casper the Friendly Ghost over here.
The only thing I got is two pink knees, and it's because I put my sunscreen on while standing and didn't think about my shorts would slide up when I sit down, and the top of my knees got a little red, but they're not too bad. But other than that, no, I got nothing because I reapplied during the race.
I think me and Size were just mad about our lack of our own brought in beers yesterday. Yeah. But that's another story for later.
Yeah, that was an interesting situation. I guess we'll save that into our full NASCAR discussion. We'll give at track perspectives on things this week as well. But I say we head right into that. You guys ready?
Yeah,
let's jump into the.
Let's do it. And that puts us on the lead lap where we discuss all things NASCAR. And we get to discuss it from a first-hand point of view this week. And as we were there for all the action, we'll start with the Truck Series race where we saw it was certainly Heim time in Rockingham. Corey Heim with a dominating win. Both stages and the win. Had a monstrous lead at one point. Caden Honeycutt reeled him in a bit at the end, but now, and I didn't know this yesterday, having learned more, Heim had a tire going down that last run, and that's what allowed Caden to catch up. So Heim was battling. At one point, he was yelling on the radio, saying he was having to turn right to go down the straightaways even. So he was battling hard. So it's pretty impressive he held on, but Caden did it all. And I didn't realize as well from our live point of view, Caden actually took the lead for just a second on that last lap down the backstretch, and then Corey able to pull it off in the corner and back for the win. But it got exciting late in the race, but certainly a Heim-dominated race. We saw.
Yeah, those last 2 or 3 laps, that was probably the most exciting as far as the racing for the lead. I mean, there's good racing back in the field the whole race, but yeah, guys going for the lead. Nobody had anything for Heim, and then I guess that tire helped out a little bit because those last 2 or 3 laps, Caden was coming in hot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And he was doing it smart. And granted, we know about the tire now, but either way, he was trying to use those lappers as picks and such. He was racing really smart. So I want to give definitely a shout out to Caden as well on that second place run. I think his first win definitely is coming soon.
And also a couple of the lappers, they caught him too. I mean, he might have had a better run there, but some of the lappers, kind of slowed him down a little bit too when they were hitting all that traffic.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, all I know is I went down there with about 5 or 6 laps to go because I was wanting to get down there in case he won so I could be down there for the burnout. because everybody watching the show probably knows, I'm a huge Heim fan. And I got a little nervous. I was like, did I curse him by coming down as I saw it happening? But I was so happy to see it. But man, Tracon just dialed in. I think they're just killing it overall. Caden, like you said, that wind's coming. Caden is so talented. And that truck, that's the truck that won with Corey last year. Yeah. And now Tracon's got it going on. Corey's got it going on. But at the end of the day, it was Heim time, baby. I was on cloud 9, and that was definitely the highlight of the weekend for me on track.
Yeah, nice.
I think one of the most impressive things to me was how that Corey's truck could go absolutely anywhere. I mean, I think he could have he really could have done a pass through the grass. Like when he would come up on lappers, it didn't matter if they were high, low, it didn't make any difference. And the same thing when he made that run up through, I forget where he qualified, but he had a few cars to pass to get to the first. He could go anywhere. And it was, I mean, I know he's extremely talented and that's part of it, but that truck was trimmed out too, man, I'll tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. He could do anything he wanted, that is for certain, and did.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and, over 3 races we saw there, the guys, once they got out front, you just had speed. If you got that lead, you were grease lightning.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, clean air mattered so much on that track, man.
Oh, yeah, clean air clean air's always king, but at Rockingham this weekend, it was the big king, certainly, when you got out front.
Yeah, I heard Matt and me kind of looked at each other, and we knew. I mean, we saw as soon as it started there, we were just kind of like we gave each other that look. We knew Heim was reeling them in from the start, and it was never a doubt he was going to take the lead.
No. As soon as the green flag flew, you knew that was the truck to beat immediately, pretty much.
I don't know all the details of the stats. I didn't have a chance today to look it all up, but I did hear I think it was, I watched a little bit of the TV coverage that night in the hotel room, and they were talking about how win percentage wise in the truck series, he is getting in the area of Kyle Busch, which we all know is really good. So I don't know, man, it's just, I know we've talked about it before, but it just blows my mind that Corey's not somewhere full time this year. And I'm really more interested to see where he ends up next year. What's next year's going to look like.
I think that's all but done at this point, but we'll see.
You think?
Well,
I think you're probably right.
I think that's locked down. His contract currently is 23-11, and he leases to other teams, so tells you a lot. But he is now the points leader, tied for the points lead with Caden, and he has missed 2 races in the season, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But I think the question is, does he take Riley's car, or do they start 67 for a full-time 4th car? But I think 23-11 is definitely next year's landing point.
Yeah.
But fun truck racing.
Well, notice Carson Hocevar, he had problems. We towards the end of the race. He DNF'd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't see him at the end of the race there. I kind of lost.
No, they parked. They parked. Yeah. I don't know why. I never did see, and I went back and I didn't watch the full race, but I watched the highlight package, and they didn't literally speak any of it on there. So I don't know what was wrong. That 77 seemed like something was wrong, almost from the green flag, that they were just having trouble and just kind of parked it. But I never did hear exactly what was wrong.
Oh yeah, that fire truck's usually fast, and it just didn't have. I mean, it was. Even at its best, a mid-marker truck there, for most of the race we were watching.
I thought it seemed like right at the beginning of stage 2 that maybe he was going to get back on track for just a few laps there, and then it's like he just fell back off. But I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. At one point, the adjustment come out, made 4 or 5 passes, and just stalled right out. And then,
yeah. I heard. I know, and it was hard to hear at times, but I know that I at least caught part of what when we were listening on the track that around the time that they just parked it seemed like they said something about he had no choice but to pit or and then I kept kind of watching like, okay, so he's pitting, but you never saw him again, so it got really it was really weird.
Yeah, that's something.
I will say something that I do notice. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing like being there live and watching a race, and that's always going to be my preferred. If I could watch every race live, it would be that. But I feel like you do actually see more on the television sometimes than you do live because it's so hard to follow everything, especially once the field gets spread out. Like you're watching one thing and there's always a chance you're going to miss something huge over here. So that's a different experience. One that I prefer, but it's a different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially on that full mile track, we're used to kind of the half miles at Bristol and Martinsville, right. And then you get the track a little bit bigger. Still with the full mile, you can still see everything for the most part, but it's a little bit harder to try to, you'll lose a car or a truck and you'll have to spend a couple laps trying to track them back down before you can, follow them there.
Yeah. Speaking of that, last year I went to the Brickyard 400. I mean, I'll tell you, it took me half a race to learn how to watch the race there on such a big track because I'd never been to, a huge 2.5 mile place like that. You had to adjust kind of how you watch it. You had to definitely had to use the screens there, and it really took me half a race to get kind of my mind right on how to watch the storylines I wanted to watch as far as live there, which I know sounds odd, but it's definitely different.
And that's the thing about Rockingham is it's got such this old school feel, and I love that old school nature. We all big, classic NASCAR guys. Grew up with it in the '90s, loved the rock there. But I do kind of wish it was a little bit newer when it came to the screens, like the screens at Rockingham, and the scoring marker there. That thing was like straight out of 1995. It definitely needs updated, and I would love for them to get like a bigger screen for those times you are just trying to watch the screen to see what's going on. But, other than that, the old school feel was awesome. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think a few things around the actual facility could definitely use some updating before we ever would think about bringing a Cup Series race there, restrooms included.
They still have the troughs. Rockingham rocking the classic.
That one just had a wall, just a wall. Kind of much like our home base at Princeton Speedway. They got a wall situation there, but I mean we're a little past that.
Yeah, well, and the one bathroom. Yeah, well, the one bathroom went out of order.
It closed down halfway.
But I agree with you, man. I'd love to see a Cup race there, but I actually heard one of the drivers in the post-race interview talking about the same thing, how they love the track, but before you could bring Cup there, there's a few things that have to be fixed. They even mentioned the tunnel and everything to get to the track. They mentioned there were some issues there too. So even in the stand, some of the amenities, I mean, there were just several things that definitely would need a little bit of work before they, I think, go the Cup route. But I'd love to see it happen for sure.
I love that we got to go to it before it gets updated. I love that we got to experience the classic NASCAR stands and P troughs and horrible scoring markers.
Yeah, no doubt.
Man, I'll tell you, I just think the minute we walked in there, I told the guys, and I'll tell all you watching now, it literally just felt like I could feel the nostalgia and the old school just wash over me, man. It was just such a good feeling, and I loved it. I fell in love with that place.
Yeah, it was super cool. I would like to see the actual surface of the track after the repave wear out a little more before we put next-gen cars on it, too, because I think they would just stick and be the leader is gone, much like we saw, but even worse so in that situation. Yeah. So let's give everything a few years. You could slowly start making some updates, and then I feel like we could talk a Cup race there, because I would like to see it at some point in time, or even like a Clash or All-Star race situation there. I think something like that could be looked at, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, while we're kind of in on the track here in between these races, we'll touch on that. You mentioned it in the intro, but the alcohol in the track situation was a bit odd, at least for us, because on Friday for the trucks, it was typical NASCAR race situation, check your cooler and go on, and then came back Saturday and was no outside alcohol. And you had to kind of, so I threw several things away there.
And being back, we were chugging what we could before we walked in, and we still gave them a bag of beer.
Yeah, they got a full 6-pack of silver bullets and about 5 Busch Lights from us. But hey, you win some, you lose some on that. We probably could have researched it a little better before we got there and saw that they were doing no outside alcohol on Saturday, but we didn't. So we showed up with our beers and we left them in a dumpster.
The research almost didn't seem necessary if you was there Friday night, because it seemed like we knew the rules of the track.
Yeah, that was a big kicker.
it's just weird. And I mean, to be honest, I felt like the rules of the track fluctuated throughout the weekend about everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they were ever evolving. But I mean, I'm not complaining. Love the rock, but I do. I think they need to be a little bit more clear from the get-go about what's going to stand, and if it's going to stick for one race, should probably carry over to the next night too.
Yeah, there was even, things were just way more relaxed on Friday than they were Saturday. And I know that Size and I were wandering around a little bit Friday, and they had this, I don't know what you call it, almost like welcome center kind of place. And it had like this Legends of the Rock trophy kind of thing, their statue, and you could go in and take pictures and look at it. They'd hand you one of their little newspaper fan kind of guides, that sort of thing, all kinds of stuff, very welcoming. We tried to walk in there on Saturday to shoot a little, and they're like, no, you can't come in here.
Yeah.
So my joke was, if there was a cup race by the time you got to Sunday, I think they'd be like, no fans, this is private. Like, I don't know, man, it got weird.
Yeah, I mean, that display trophy looking thing, like, had an awesome, like, this wooden thing, and it had like the Rock on top, and it had like every driver that had ever won in the Cup Series at Rockingham on it. And Sean got a couple pictures of it on Friday, and then Saturday Matt went in there to shoot some stuff for the channel, and no sir.
Yeah, I guess they use that as part of the 65 Club. I'm not even exactly sure what that is, but I was not a member, and I did not get inside.
Hey, we should have sent Google in there. He's over 65. They might have let him in.
Maybe it's that, yeah.
It's like AARP.
And it was, bad particularly as far as rules that are in place, that's fine, but it was just a little confusing with the change from one day to the next. And even some things that we saw change mid-race kind of even on some stuff. That didn't affect us necessarily, but just was interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though, y'all. I like you said, love the Rock and all that, but if you're going to advance, you have to clean some of that up and make things more clear from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I should be able to go on a website, I guess, or whatever, and know exactly what the bag policy is and all that stuff. Maybe that exists, but like y'all said, if one thing stood on Friday, it seemed like the same thing would have been the deal on Saturday. So I don't know.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about that in the car on the ride home, is maybe they had those signs up on Friday and they just, expected a light truck crowd, which they did not have. They had a packed truck crowd Friday night, and they're just like, we ain't going to worry about it. But the crowd was nowhere near as big Friday night as much as, we hype it up for a truck crowd as it was Saturday, even for ARCA. Like, that place was jam-packed because certain internet racing motor car celebrities were there that weren't us.
Oh, you mean everyone there wasn't for us? Man.
I don't know, some guy named Squirrel or something.
Hey,
one of y'all or what?
I don't know what your problem was. I even got asked for a picture, so I don't know what your problem.
There you go. We'll lead that right into the O'Reilly race. We're starting backwards with the Cleetus. We're going from his bad to his good, because we'll get an ARCA in the Bullring report. But nonetheless, the O'Reilly race, we saw first career win for 19-year-old William Sawalich. It looked like it was going to be another first winner of the day, as Corey Day took stages 1 and 2, but then kind of, I don't know exactly what happened there. They kind of fell apart late, had a bad pit stop, I think, started it, and got back in traffic and struggled, but then it seemed like they fell apart again, but he climbed back up to 10th, I think it was. But huge day for Sawalich, got that first win. Saw some other good runs throughout the day. Saw Cleetus. Brent Cruz got up there, led a good chunk. Looked like he might be the guy for first win. A lot of young'uns up there doing the thing this weekend at a what's historically known as a driver's track, so I'll give props to all those young guys showing out kind of this weekend. Another one included that I thought being his best race that we saw in NASCAR yet, and that says a lot because he's won some truck races, but Roger Carruth was an amazing run, man. He looked like a wheel man out there, making the last 3 wide pass was incredible. I thought he was very impressive, and others as well, but just some things that stood out to me.
I will say that it definitely was a driver's track, though, because those young guys, they were good on the restarts, and once they got out front, they stayed out front. That's kind of how pretty much every lead change came from a restart, other than we lost Sean.
Uh-oh.
But rolling right along, most passes for the lead came from a restart, and but Justin Allgaier, who is, crafty veteran driver, he worked his way up there to a third place finish. And that was, just by being a wheelman, being that driver. But it just, the guys out front were just too fast, with that clean air. He couldn't get there.
Well, I think one of the things I will say about Brent Cruz, he took 2 tires with how many laps was left?
Yeah,
80-some laps left?
Roundabouts at least, yeah.
That was, I feel like he kind of, I don't know, he was kind of doomed to not complete the race the way he wanted to with that strategy. I didn't really understand that strategy.
I think they were just trying something. I think for that, they didn't have a shot of winning, I think, anyway, and that was a shot at trying something different. But certainly by the end of the race, they fell off hard on those old tires.
Yeah. Same thing with Jesse Love. They stayed out there too long on tires, and that's one of the passes we did see for the leads because Jesse's tires just completely were shot, and he couldn't stay out there.
Yeah.
But just a killer day for Roger, a killer day for Brent. Just a really good weekend for the young guys. Yeah, just to kind of show that, the Rock, they held their own. They showed they are wheelmen to some degree, and the future's looking very bright.
Oh yeah,
we Rally Series and where these guys end up going from there.
Yeah, we talked about it on the way home that it felt like watching the future of the sport. Really, I mean, all weekend long. Really, all 3 winners we saw. You mentioned Matt Sawalich getting that first win. We saw Corey Day is going to be Corey Day. What we expect him to be, just ironing off some edges right now. Again, Cruz, Raj, that was his first top 5 in the series. So, yeah, I think we saw the future in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Raj, Raja there, I saw a lot of Raja merch there for him to be, a first-year full-time Xfinity driver. Obviously, the most merch we saw was Cleetus. I mean, guy dominated the merch game. Probably second most I saw was Will Gator, Algar. There's a lot of Algar fans there. But then I would say Raj is probably, around the 3rd or 4th, as far as seeing people wearing his merch that I saw. I know he has the Hendrick connection there, and I know he has, the Junior Motorsports. That's always going to help, any driver with their popularity. But there's a lot of people repping him. That was pretty cool.
And I'll note on that front, Jeff and I noticed a lot of people in Sheldon Creed, that Ollie shirt, the yellow shirt, which was a cool looking shirt. But I did see a lot of people rocking Sheldon Creed gear on Saturday.
And the thing that we also noticed about that, a lot of young fans, like kids in Sheldon Creed stuff.
Yeah, it was.
So our thoughts are that the CW really needs to look at giving Sheldon a Saturday morning show.
Yes.
The kids love him. Yeah. He's going to grow the sport. Give Sheldon, make him like Blippi, kind of. He'd be he just have a Saturday morning show, Sheldon. Saturdays with Sheldon. It's huge, okay?
I was going to say, so there was a Bluey pit sign. Could that have been Sheldon's?
It might have been.
Well, going off that logic, they just need to put Cleetus on every channel all the time because that man will sell some merch.
But you think about what we just went through there. I mean, you can have all the feelings about Cleetus that you want, but we were there and we saw the merch lines and we saw the people wearing the shirts, and that was the most by far, right? And then 2 of the guys Size mentioned is also seeing a lot of merch were most popular drivers in 2 of the top 3 series last year, Little Gator and Raja. So I mean, man, you got to do what draws, right? Yeah. And I mean, good for them and good for Cleetus. Somebody, he and who's getting a cut of that merch made a whole lot of money this weekend.
I'm going to save my opinions for Cleetus on the track until we get to ARCA because they're much more favorable when we talk about that. And I don't want the stands coming after me. The man can sell some merch.
That's right.
I do want to talk about Cleetus on track. While his merch was impressive, I do want to talk about it. So, he started out, I thought, solid. He had a big save early. He at one point climbed up to like 26th, 27th. But then it really started. He tried to make a 3-wide move into the corner that did not work out. Got loose. Caused a caution there, and then it just seemed to fall apart from there. And then the very last run, they had him out on scuffs, as I've now learned, and man, he was struggling hard on those, which, I mean, he openly said it and admitted it all in the interviews, which was interesting, but definitely, I think a big awakening for him from the jump from ARCA to there. And we did see him, as you mentioned, and we'll talk about, have a good run in ARCA, but had to mention his on track. But I mean, he finished the race. He ended up improving, I think, one position from his qualifying. So, I mean, ultimately, not a total failure, although, I mean, he struggled. There's absolutely no question. I didn't think a total failure, but
he didn't tear the car up, and he finished the race, and that's more than 98% of the population could do. I'll give him that.
There you go.
In the post-race interview, I heard him say the one thing he was most concerned with was did he ruin anybody else's day.
Yeah.
He didn't ruin anybody else's day. He considered that a win.
Yeah. And I respect that.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing on that 3 wide with like 3 or 4 laps into the race, trying to go 3 wide in the bottom corner there. That was him. That was on him. But he owned that. He also owned that in his post-race interview. And other than that, I mean, I thought he kept out of the way pretty much and learning. That's what he needs to do. I don't know that I think he probably needs to be learning in ARCA and not O'Reilly. But
I don't mind another short track ever. Now, speaking of that, I did see Danny Lawrence, the VP at RCR, said he's not sure if NASCAR will give approval after that effort or not. And I mean, I'm not NASCAR and I don't know, but I think we could definitely see possibly another short type track and maybe 1.5 miles before we get to Dega. I think we might need to throw in some more races, but I mean, who knows? As we said, though, the man is certainly popular in selling merch. The stands were full of that. The lines at the merch was there was people there with signs. Like every time during ARCA or more during ARCA, we'll get to, but even there was a red flag and parked the car. I mean, it was just like a sea of people running down to try to just get, and during intro stuff. It's really wild.
Yeah, or you know, a couple races, or you know, a full season in ARCA Menards. That might help as well. Yeah. Where he is actually good and does belong. We'll get to it.
Well, I wish he'd pick up a late model, and I thought he's supposedly wanting to do that and just do some racing, man. I mean, some regional level, some ARCA. But, I mean, Cleetus is good for NASCAR.
Yeah.
Did you see Allgaier talking about him post-race?
No, I didn't.
Allgaier was mostly complimentary.
That's good.
They did ask him if he got approved for Talladega, did he want to be would he draft with him? Allgaier didn't really say yes.
Well, you know.
He gave a very political answer. He said something like, there's probably like 3 or 4 guys in this series that I don't really want to draft with. But he never did say that Cleetus was one of them. He did say he wasn't, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
It made me laugh.
Yeah, we'll see where that situation ends up. We'll be barring approval for what they have planned, but they might have to add some stuff in, certainly. Yeah, I'll give a huge shout out to Alpha Prime Racing. A great day, but we end up meeting Keith Wolf, their competition director. Hung out with him for a bit over the weekend, which was awesome experience. Talked a little racing, and then they went out and backed it up with double top 15s, both their cars, top 15, LeVar Scott and Brennan Poole. An impressive day for that team out there doing things, and thanks to Keith for chatting us up over the weekend. Just wanted to give that shout out.
Yeah.
I mean, want to say before he left from the hotel, you told him, "Hope you guys get a top 15 today." So I'm not saying Alpha Prime that we're the reason why. I'm just saying maybe there's a little bit of a luck rub that Matt gave in the How Wide and Handsome boys. So we're fans.
That's right. And we're fans before this, honestly. That's the thing.
I'm a big Jeb Burton fan, obviously, you know, from Virginia. Big Ward fan, big Jeb fan. So I spent a lot of the race, you know, watching Jeb out there, and him and LeVar Scott, you know, they were racing each other well there for a lot of the race. It was fun watching those 2 guys go at it, and, you know, having that little bit of knowledge, you know, from staying at the hotel the night before and talking to a guy who worked for Alpha Prime made that even a little bit more fun because I had my Virginia, you know, kind of hometown guy that I was rooting for and the guy that I was rooting for because, you know, we talked to one of the guys that worked on his team. So it was pretty fun to watch all that.
Hey, yeah. Talk about wheelmen and young guys. I mean, LeVar Scott, a young guy.
Yeah.
Jeb Burton, he's a vet at this point. And LeVar hung right in there with him and, raced with him really well all day. They were kind of together all day. So, I mean, that's a huge plus for LeVar, I think.
I think that was a huge day for LeVar. I mean, a rookie showing up to Rockingham in the top 15, that's impressive with a smaller operation. Absolutely.
Absolutely, and I was just going to mention, I like it on TV too. But LeVar's Sunoco paint scheme is absolutely beautiful in person. I just want to point that out. That is one good looking car, man. I know I'm a mark for that kind of stuff, and I love that car, man. I thought it was beautiful on track.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Brandon Poole's car was beautiful too. That's the thing I noticed every week. Alpha Prime tends to have some of the best paint schemes week to week. The flame pattern, that little sublimated nice. Flame pattern on the Brandon Poole car was beautiful. They're killing it, man. I think they're a really cool team. So yeah, it was really cool to actually meet somebody from the team and be able to put a face to a team that we already was kind of fan. We were starting to become fans of more and more as the year went on, even, and to get to meet him and learn a little bit more, that's cool. So
I mean, it goes further back than that. I'm pretty sure you can find some old episodes of our first round of this show and us discussing Tommy Joe Martin, who started that team. We were fans for a bit back.
Tommy Joe fanboys back in the day.
We truly were.
2020, 2021 stuff. Big Tommy Joe guys.
Really cool stuff. All right, that'll do it for this week's NASCAR Talk in the lead lap. That brings us to the Bullring Report, where we talk short tracks, dirt tracks, regional, local, all that good stuff. And as you know by this point in the show, we were there for this week's ARCA East race, where we saw another young'un down at the Rock, Tristan McKee, 15 years old, and man, he put a whooping on him, frankly.
I mean, I'm the parent of a almost 15-year-old. My daughter will be 15 in September, and I can't imagine her going out there and doing that. That kid is wild. It's weird seeing the ARCA because it is like half the cars are good, and then half the cars should be running like Princeton. But just seeing there was 5 or 6 good cars out there, and that youngin just smoking them all.
He did. That's a back-to-back win for him. I think Tristan's definitely, he's so young and already doing so well in these lower series. I think Spire has a nice young hand with him there, or whatever you want to say. Shout out to Carson Brown. He made an effort there at the end. Drove so hard in that corner, ended up in like a 4-wheel drift and made the save, trying one last save to get the lead. That was something as far as at track perspective, I didn't really catch until I went back and watched the highlights. He absolutely made a bonsai move to try in that last corner. I think it was actually like 15 to go or something, maybe. I can't remember, but he made a huge effort. I thought Max Reeves, who was the points leader, I think, going into this thing, he suffered an early flat. Come back, battled, I think got a lap back like naturally at one point, or almost naturally, and then got some help. But he was fast again as well, just speaking of guys in that ARCA East series. And we saw the debut, before we get to Cleetus, of his friend, Squirrel McNutt, George Siciliano. You know him from the channel over there. But his second race, he ran Hickory as well. He did have a spin, kept it out of the wall, ended up finishing the race. And then Cleetus. Yeah, top 10. They ended up, 9th or so?
Yeah, I think it was 9th.
13th last week. So,
9th.
Solid outings for Squirrel, just trying to get his feet under him, honestly. Yeah. But Cleetus, man, he had a really good day. Ended up 4th, his best career run. I honestly, in that ARCA car, thought he looked very smooth all day. He did exactly what he should. I
watched Cleetus for the most part, and he was passing guys. He
made genuine quality passes, as you'll hear the term. But he genuinely did, and it was impressive.
And speaking of the raw potential's there, it's just a matter of honing it. And that's what we're saying about him from the beginning. I think. You saw it there. The potential's there. He just needs experience.
I think a season in ARCA would be perfect for him and Squirrel. I think Squirrel's a good ARCA hand. I think put both those guys in a full season of ARCA. Doesn't even have to be ARCA East. Just do the National ARCA Series, and I think they would do well, and it would give Cleetus a chance to kind of build on what he has already to go to that next level. And Squirrel could just be a lifetime ARCA guy if he wants to. That'd be fine too.
So I saw today, I'm sure they probably don't have it for this past weekend yet, but that Hickory race was like the most watched ARCA East race ever, or something like that, ratings wise. Yeah. So hey, it's
that's
a win-win.
The Squirrel syndrome.
Yeah,
That's right. It is. But I mean, it's a win-win, right? If these guys want to do it, want to get good at it, and it helps ARCA too. So I mean, I'm with you.
Well, I saw that on Reddit today. I know Sean definitely didn't see this, so that this weekend's did surpass. It's the most watched one. I think they said in the last 20 years or something since they've been keeping track of it. So yeah,
okay.
Squirrel and Cleetus together. That brings them out.
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't seen that in my. I was just going to say I hadn't seen that in my TV guide yet. So
And in the stands, man, that was the most people I've saw at ARCA race in a long time that I can think of right off. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff and I were talking at the end. It was really interesting to see the way the way it was handled with our very young, awesome winner, and then with Cleetus too. Like I thought Cleetus was going to get to do a burnout there for a minute, but when you look down, there was. I mean, and I get it. It is what it is. But there were more people surrounding Cleetus than they were Victory Lane at that time. So it was quite the interesting thing to see in person, for sure.
It reminded me a lot of Phoenix. The championship race in Phoenix a couple of years ago when Ross won the race, but Blaney won the championship. So there's like 30 minutes of coverage. They don't even mention Ross.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it was after ARCA on Saturday. It was 30 minutes of just straight Cleetus, and then we got a 2-minute interview.
He was driving around the track afterwards, and they were talking to him on the radio over the PA. While like Kristen's still over like on the winner's podium.
Yeah, if I'm Tristan, I didn't really care for that, but like John said, I do get it. It's just such momentum for that series.
Yeah, and also, I mean, he's 15 years old, and he just had the most people that's ever watched an ARCA race watch him win. So, I mean, you can't complain too much about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, very good.
Exactly.
Point. From there, we'll move into, a big race, but what was actually a local for us race, although we weren't local while it happened. But Friday night, the Spring National Super Late Models at Wythe Raceway, man, they had some major stars show up. Hudson O'Neal, the real deal, took home the $10,000 check. You see him burning up the Lucas Oil Late Model Series, but he took his off week from Easter there and showed up and get him a 10K win in Virginia. Chris Ferguson, Chris Madden, West Virginia's own Kenny Compton, some awesome names out in that race. Looked like Ferguson was going to be the man to do it early, but then had mechanical issues, which opened the door for the real deal Hudson O'Neal to bring that 6-car home. But looked like some awesome racing down at Wytheville, that fast half mile.
That's cool.
Yeah, it really did. It looked awesome, man. What did we ever find out what happened to Ferguson? Because I mean, he just kind of sputtered out there, man.
Yeah, seemed like out of nowhere, but no, I didn't ever hear the actual full report. And that Matthew Nance was coming late, ended up second, took over Brandon Overton, who is, a huge name. I don't know a lot about the Nance guy, to be honest with you, but boy, he was fast.
He was, man. He was. But yeah, that was an awesome event. I mean, if we hadn't have had what we were at, I wouldn't have minded being. I mean, honestly, I'd love to have been at that too if I could have duplicated myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to have went that. And they had, worth noting, that Spring National, they did, I think, the night before somewhere, and then the next night at Tazewell Speedway down in Tazewell, Tennessee. So they do like a quick little series on those, big money deal, but I just wanted to cover that one close to us in this week's Bullring Report sure.
Hey, Matt, did we know if Figgy Earnhardt was down there?
Figgy Earnhardt, the discussion internet has blew up with over the weekend, thanks to Sean's favorite app, Reddit.
I'll be reading about it in the Inquirer soon, but
we saw a late night Reddit thread of someone saying kind of like a Mandela effect situation, I guess you could say, that they remembered another Earnhardt son that they called Figgy Earnhardt. And man, the internet, Reddit, X, everywhere has kind of blew up with Figgy Earnhardt memes and discussions and whatnot. Do you guys think Figgy Earnhardt exists?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think if you believe in Figgy Earnhardt, then Figgy Earnhardt's real. He's got kind of that Easter Bunny Santa Claus vibe going on.
You know what I hope? I hope that we get to Wednesday day of this week, and we find out that the guest on the Dale Jr. download is Figgy Earnhardt. And Junior's just like, see, of course he exists. It's my brother.
I saw people on X that were hoping that Mike Joy would refer to Carson. Refer to Connor. Refer to Carson Hocevar as Figgy Earnhardt. There was like a big theory going that Carson was Figgy. Yeah. So they were like saying, try to get that going before Bristol this week. So I don't know. Maybe we will.
Hey, we've seen Kerry involved in a lot of business deals. I mean, maybe he's got a Fig Newton brand out there too. And, he's advertising those as Figgy Earnhardt.
Who knows? We may never know the true legend of Figgy Earnhardt.
He'll live in our hearts.
Our hearts.
Figgy for life. All right, that's it for this week's Bullring Report. All right, now it is time for the Hall of Fame. And I think we all got at least a little bit of a haul, if not a big haul, from Rockingham. So we thought we'd all go through and kind of show what we got. We're going to start with Sean first. Let me highlight him right now.
All right, so I got a few select things from the haul this weekend that I picked up. So from they did have some of the official haulers there. That was quite an interesting situation with the Cup Series not being in town, but we did have a hauler situation, and that's good. So I did manage to pick up a few 164 die cast. I don't know how well you'll be able to see them, but I got a Kurt Busch in there, a McDonald's Kurt Busch. It was on clearance, so I was pretty excited about that. Picked up a Jeff Gordon National Guard car, which is kind of hard to find because that was sort of a Dale Jr. sponsorship through that time period. And I know Matt and I both got, and he'll probably show it too, but we got the Terry Labonte Truck Series win from Richmond, which was Terry's only Truck Series victory, which seems kind of wild to me. So we got that. Also from the haulers, I picked up one of the I've seen these around quite a bit. The Dale Jr. Motorsports 100 years little set they put out of 4 cars. So there's a Brad Keselowski in there, which ran for them for a good while. A Chase Elliott, Dale Jr. in the Hellman's car, and of course Justin Allgaier would have to be in there too with the Brandt situation. Also at the haulers, picked up a nice little Raj koozie, so we got that. But now, of course, the real fun, guys, as we know, comes from our lovable tents that we love at every single track. And probably my unique piece that I probably love the most that I found this week was this Jeff Gordon car mouse. This is a working mouse. And what's interesting is, so it's the old school car. I've been trying to find a year or something on this. I can't, but it does have USB, so it will work today. So very soon when we're on the pod, I will be using that to direct around. I also picked up a really cool, I really like old school license plates and cop that too. But yeah, it was a very successful weekend there of a merch haul for sure.
Yeah, that's some awesome stuff right there, man.
Cool stuff, man.
Stuff now. Let's see what you got, Size. I'm going to throw you up on the highlight.
Well, I didn't hit a lot of the official merch haulers there. I did swing by the North Carolina Education Lottery. So I got the official North Carolina Education Lottery 250 at Rockingham Speedway hat there. Pretty nice little hat. And then also did hit those old tents because, love me a good deal at the tent. Got me a $1 Magic Market Terry Labonte 164th there. And my big haul of the weekend was my 1/18th Cheerwine Busch Series Morgan Shepherd there.
Sweet.
Rocking the big boy. So yeah, that's how I picked up. I didn't grab a whole lot, but some pretty cool pieces, I think.
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. Love that Morgan Shepherd car.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, let's see what you got. Throw you up on the highlight.
All right. Well, I didn't grab a whole bunch of stuff. I went with hats mostly. Of course, did pick up this Hocevar hat that I've been looking for, and half the internet's looking for as well. Able to get it in person, so had to grab that. Keeping with the Terry Labonte thing, I'll save that. I'm gonna do that first. I'm going next because I want to do this one first. This nice Roush Fenway Racing Oscar Mayer #6 hat, and that one, I guess technically not a Brad Keselowski, but we're calling it a Brad Keselowski. I guess this is actually a Newman, but it's Keselowski in my heart. And I mean, anybody that knows me knows I love hot dogs, love anything that Oscar Mayer sponsors. It's going to be on there, and anybody also knows I love RFK and or Roush in general. So huge win on that. Big ups to Waldo. And then I picked up this Terry Labonte hat from the NASCAR Classics hauler, and this is keeping with a theme. I think we all picked up at least one Terry Labonte item, but had to get this. I thought this was just a really cool hat. Love the look of it. And the last thing. Oh wait, one more thing. Did have a Casey Kane koozie I picked up off the dollar table. Had to get that. But my favorite thing I picked up, most likely, is, of course, also an American Classics 118th Terry Labonte. This thing is awesome. I saw it. I wasn't going to get it because I didn't realize the price that he had on it at the tents. And when I found out that was the price, I was like, yeah, that's coming home with me. Because that was one of the things I wanted to find was a Labonte, a larger scale diecast. And I was thinking 124, but I think I've started a new obsession, and I think it's these American Classics. Been looking all day on eBay. There's some really cool ones out there, and this is a heck of a way to start that collection. So love this. So that was my pickups, but big ups to Terry Labonte.
Very, very nice. Yeah, I love that. And yeah, y'all both coming away with those 118th American Muscles, man. Those are awesome.
Got the big boys.
Dude.
Yeah.
With some good deals. $10. Mine was $10. I assume yours was $10 as well.
Yeah.
$10. $10 for some big boys.
That's a crazy deal, guys.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, he had a bunch of them actually.
Yeah, he did.
All right, I'm gonna throw myself up, show off my goodies. Of course, I as well got that Terry Labonte Truck Series win truck. Sean and I had been looking for that at the NASCAR Classics hauler for
forever.
Working on a year now, actually. But that's my Terry Labonte pick. But glad to find that finally. All my items are shout out to Silas and Sean. I got the gypsy tent and didn't have cash. My cash cow was in the car. They had the cash run, so I got some help out, and I appreciate it. But I found this Steel / Evernham Motorsports Chase Authentics hat, still in tags, and I just noticed this today actually. The Ray Evernham signature edition, I guess. A fit for Ray Evernham, a fit for you. But I thought it was cool. Still had that old tag on there.
But if Evernham's involved, it's got to have his name 4 places on it. We know that.
That's the truth. And Grabs, I showed part of this. He went through that lottery line and ended up getting the race shirt as well to go with that hat. And it was size for me, and he gave it to me. So... well, that was pretty cool. Sweet. Thank you, Size.
Awesome shirt.
And found this, and we may do a full unboxing of this one night in the show. A full box of Max race cards. So I think that'd be fun to go through. We'll do one random one right now.
Who we got?
On random. I don't know. We got Richard Broom. 27-year vet of boat dragon stock car racing. Worked for Holman Moody, apparently. Not familiar with him, but nonetheless.
All right. Big Dick Broom.
Dicky Broom. Last but certainly not least, anybody knows me, I've kind of got obsessed with these old Winross haulers. And, man, I found a pretty good one. I still got the sticker on from that, but the Rick Wilson Morgan McClure Racing Kodak Film Racing Team hauler. This is from probably about 88, I would guess, with that lineup. So I thought that was pretty cool. Team out of Abington, pretty much right down the road in our region here. So had to bring that one home with me.
Yeah, it's a nice pickup. I mean, I was an Ernie guy, but it's cool. Pre-Ernie there.
Yeah, well, I prefer Ernie level or Sterling Marlin level 4, but this is cool to find an old Morgan McClure piece, I thought. That's all.
And the thing we all got a cookout Rubik's Cube.
Oh, yeah.
So if anybody wants to tell us how to solve these, show us some sweet Rubik's Cube tips, we can get our cookout cubes going.
We got to send a shout out to Josh Balicki and Mando Dio.
Yeah.
I think they powered our Easter today.
I think Sal's got stuff from O'Reilly as well, didn't he?
I got some chapstick somewhere. I don't know. They gave me a chapstick. It's
either a keychain.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, but there were some spots in the fan zones. As we'd mentioned on here last week, none of us had ever been to a standalone kind of weekend without the Cup Series. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Colic had their big hauler there as far as new merch, the big Ram show, the NASCAR Classics, which we were obviously very pleased to see. Then Rockingham actually had cool merch of their own, and it was selling. People was lined up for it. That was worth noting as well, I thought. Yeah, and some cool sponsor, not to cut you off, sponsor type giveaways like we talked about there. All through that, a lot of food trucks and stuff. So I thought the fan zone was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, a lot of the Rockingham stuff was selling out, man. There was a lot of stuff sold out from their merch because they had merch, of course, outside and inside the track, too. And then it was an interesting situation. I thought that Junior Motorsports would have a bigger setup, but there was like one little hauler that had like JRM and several teams all together. So that was quite the situation, and that's where you got the Cleetus merch, too. So it was kind of hard to get near that place. And then I think they had Jesse Love there signing at one point too, so
they did. Yeah, that place was packed out, which I mean that's a good thing for everyone.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wrap up Air Goodies on this week's Hall of Fame, and that puts us on the cool down lap. We're gonna take this thing to the house, boys. Awesome weekend of racing, awesome weekend of live racing, awesome trip all around. Had a great time.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, you can definitely have, but it's hard to have a bad weekend at the track, particularly when you got a triple header. One thing I'll say, y'all, is we had a one-packed weekend. I mean, there wasn't much wiggle room in there. No. Like that little bit, that shopping you saw that we did happened really fast.
Yeah,
it did. And on Friday night,
Friday after the race.
That 11:30 a.m. ARCA race that next morning, which they were trying to, NASCAR and everybody there trying to keep it tight to get everybody back for Easter's, but it definitely made for a quick turnaround weekend, and we had a 3.5 hour drive there on Friday and back Saturday after the races, which, I mean, I had a blast, but it was definitely a quick turnaround. Filling it tonight, and then someone decided we had to record tonight instead of tomorrow, so here we are even later. Sorry about that.
We're all good.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, with as much as we did this weekend, man, it's good to get those thoughts while we're still fresh.
Yeah, I agree with that
for sure.
Now we're looking at more racing in our region next week as they roll into Bristol Motor Speedway.
It's Bristol, baby.
That it is. Feels kind of weird not going. Any race, even Martinsville. Last week, like anytime there's a race in a region, it always feels a little odd not going.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, sometimes I don't even want to go or plan to go, but even when it happens, it's like, man, I should have went down there. Not that I don't want to, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, if folks don't know, Bristol is really close for us. That's our closest track, so it's an easy trip. And I'm with you, Matt. I'm always kind of a little bit bummed. It's like should be down there, but then I remember how I feel tonight, and I'm like, I'm all right.
Bristol's tough. I love Bristol, but it really is a pretty tough facility in and out of. That's being honest. But they do a good job with shuttles and stuff. If you really watch, last time, man, crew chief Google, we got pretty hard on the shuttle train, and if you pay attention and watch that, you can get around pretty decent. But it's just so steep. They built the Coliseum. It's called that for a reason. It's built that way, and it's amazing when you get in there, but it's a little difficult to get in sometimes.
Yeah, you got some tough hills to climb there getting in.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, awesome facility. That's not. I don't think anybody here is going to knock Bristol's, but just worth noting.
No, we love Bristol.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm listening to the radio every day this week to try to win free tickets to something. Trucks.
No, nice.
O'Reilly, Cup, I don't care. Whatever they're going to give away for free, I'm going to try to win it on the radio this week.
There you go. Free is free, baby.
Matt and I had some
you
free
never
truck
know.
tickets once to Bristol race, Bristol dirt truck. Thank you, whatever WQUT, whoever it was.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But you know what though? If you're looking for tickets, watch for those sponsors, y'all. I mean, I remember years ago, my wife got free Martinsville tickets for buying so many groceries at Kroger's. So I mean, you just never know.
I go to Food City once a week. Ain't gave me nothing.
For some reason, Jeff is now broadcasting from the upside down, but we're still going to make our race picks, even if he is Tyler Ankraming it right now. And now he's vertical, so we're just going to move on. We got to make our picks for Cup Series action at Bristol Motor Speedway. Size, we're going to start with you.
Hey, Four Beer Jeff is an oracle of racing, and he said that this week was Daniel Suarez's week to win. So I don't trust Four Beer Jeff anymore. Now I'm going to go with Chris Buescher. I think Buescher's going to have a good run this weekend.
I think that's a great choice. How about you, Sean?
Well, the Mr. Jeff, who is now Will Byers in the Upside Down, gifted me this really cool lanyard, and the man who's going to win the race is right on there. It's going to be 2 in a row for Chevy and Hendrick Motorsports as Kyle Larson's going to get it done in Bristol, boys.
Yeah, always tough not to say Larson at Bristol. I'm going to keep riding Team Toyota, but we see someone get their first Toyota win of the season, make them back-to-back at Bristol, and Seabell brings it home.
And since he's already said it, Jeff is taking Daniel Suarez. So there we go.
Jeff riding with Amigo. Yeah, we're looking forward to Bristol, though, and I'm sure lots of other racing this weekend. Worth noting, our local track here, Princeton Speedway, kicks off their practice weekend. I think it's on Friday, and then they're back to full season racing, so we're excited about that as well. But anything else before we wrap this one up, gentlemen?
No, just go watch racing live. If you can't make it to a NASCAR Cup Series, make it to a NASCAR Lower Series. If you can't make it to a NASCAR Lower Series, make it to one of your local tracks. Just go watch some live racing. It's fun. We proved it this weekend. It's a good time.
Absolutely. And and as much as I loved it, I'm ready to see those Cup guys back on the track this weekend. So let's get to it.
That's right. We're going to have some action. It'll be interesting to see how the new short track package plays out at Bristol. I'm hoping well. We'll find out.
Yep.
Give us a like on this video. Subscribe right here at the Arson Brothers Network. We haven't noted it, but we filmed a full vlog of our pretty much the entire trip. A lot of racing action. That's going to be coming out. It's probably going to be a couple weeks. I'm headed out of town for a few days, so it'll probably be a couple weeks from now, but that's definitely going to be up here on the channel, as well as some other videos in the can as far as their other shows, Exploring Appalachia, Arson Brothers Eats, and such. So be sure to give us a subscribe. Thanks for checking out High, Wide, and Handsome. Check us out on the socials. Check out definitely High, Wide, and Handsome social medias this week, because we got a lot of stuff from our trip to drop over there, but probably too much, but we're going to drop all we can. So definitely check it out. It's been awesome.
Oh, for sure. And I would say a lot of us, on our own Instagrams and stuff too. I mean, I know I'll be posting stuff and tagging High, Wide, and Handsome in it. Feel free to check anything out related to us. We'll be putting it out there for sure.
Absolutely.
I won't be, because I haven't posted on Instagram in like 4 years, but I will be doing this Rubik's Cube.
There you go. So you can Rubik's Cube it all week. We'll get you some stuff out there. All right, guys. It's been a blast. Good night and good luck.